Hey everybody, Deplorable Bobby here. This is how I see it. Before I get started, I want to mention silver bars. 2 silver bars going to someone who leaves a comment and is a subscriber in the month of May. June 1st, we'll have a drawing at 8 p.m. and a third party will draw the names out of a hat of those who have commented. I want to start off tonight about a local deal. It's called the Operation Southern Impact 3. 82 were arrested as part of a massive multi-state child exploitation operation conducted across 8 southern states, including my home state of Georgia. And I'm going to dwell on my home state tonight just because it's close to home. 17 children were rescued in the operation according to the GBI, which is the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. Operation Southern Impact 3 culminated after 4 months of investigation in this operation. There was a 3-day period at the end of the investigation to where investigative actions took place, and they were search warrants, undercover operations, arrest of sex offenders, compliance verification. And this was just in Georgia alone. There were 31 arrested during the sting. 7 of the 31 arrested had traveled to meet minor children for sex. During the sting operation, 4 registered sex offenders were encountered and arrested. And they were arrested on the charges of child pornography. One of the registered sex offenders arrested was also arrested in 2015 on a similar sting. You know, just like the illegal aliens, these pedophiles, they never stop. They keep coming back, just like the illegal aliens. You send them across the border, you send them back, you deport them, you get them out of here because they're criminals, and they keep coming back. Just like these sex offenders, they keep coming back. You can't get rid of them because they're everywhere. People, they're everywhere. I'm not trying to compare sex offenders with illegal aliens. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say that it's the same case in both instances. You get rid of them and they come back and they come back and they come back. I'm not saying that illegal aliens are sex offenders. And I'm not saying that sex offenders are illegal aliens. Brain 101. You know what I'm talking about. You know, 972 digital devices were seized as evidence in this case in Georgia, as well as illegal drugs and firearms. The arrested ranged in age from 21 to 61. The occupations ranged from being unemployed to a construction worker, a student, healthcare worker, fireman, IT specialist, and business owners, and many more. I can't list them all, people. I can't list them all. There's too many. And that's what you get. People, they're after our children. These pedophiles, they don't stop. They never stop. They're constantly after our children. And patriots, I've said many times, these perverts want nothing more than to harm our children in every facet of life as we know it. Every community across America is plagued with pedophiles who 99% of the people know nothing about. Most of John Q. public has no idea that these pedophiles even exist. They want to close their eyes. They want to bury their head in the sand. They don't want to hear such terrible things. It could never happen to their child. Well, people, these pedophiles, they're everywhere. They're in our church. They're in our schools, our playgrounds, our parks, our department stores. their policemen, their firemen, their relatives. They're everybody that you would not suspect. A pedophile is very careful. They don't want to get caught, people. So they're very secretive about what they do. And they cover their tracks well. People, please, don't live with your head in the sand. Child exploitation is everywhere, in every town, in every city, in every neighborhood, and I would venture to say on every street. You just don't hear about it, people. They cover it up. It's something that they don't talk about. It's a secret. And the children are usually too scared to say anything about it. Parents need to be involved in their children's lives and know who they know. They need to know who their kids know. They need to know and monitor their actions online and where they're going and who they're talking to and who they're seeing and what websites they're visiting. People, this is how children get exploited, is to be turned loose on the internet or turned loose in your parks and with no supervision. These people are predators and they're looking for the vulnerable of our children. Most people would say my child could never be trafficked for sex. People, I venture to say that every person who ever said, not my child, also, it was their child. I'm not saying that all children will be trafficked. But I'm trying to tell you right now, many of those who said not my child found out that it was their child simply because of their parenting skills and not being informed and in touch and have knowledge of what your children are doing. People, pray for our children. I'm going to jump to another topic. We're going to talk about ICE on the border. ICE has relocated and reallocated sources to the southwest border to investigate human smuggling operations and the use of fraudulent documents among asylum seekers. Well, that ain't that a hoot. People, who thought that these asylum seekers were going to come across with the proper paperwork? You knew before they ever got here that they were coming with fraudulent paperwork. They've got George Soros and the Democrats and everybody else funneling forms to them so they can fill them out and come across the border as a family unit. Well, people, these people aren't family units. They're child traffickers with children pretending to be their parents. And people, I got a lot more to say about that. ICE reports a huge surge in aliens fraudulently entering the U.S. as a family unit or unaccompanied minors. Get this, people. This allows them to exploit the asylum loopholes and remain in the United States. So easy. And believe me, people, there are attorneys on the Mexican side of the border and there are attorneys on the United States side of the border, and these people are being counseled and they're being told what to do, what to say, and how to say it, and given the forms to fill out, even though they're fraudulent. Out of 100 family units interviewed by the ICE, found evidence of fraud in 25% of all of them interviewed. The fraud includes the use of forged birth certificates or other fake documents to establish parentage. And also, there's a lot of these illegal aliens coming across here saying they're minors under the age of 18 when they're in their 20s and sometimes even in their 30s, and they're pretending to be someone under 18. People, these people aren't stupid. These people are taught. They're coerced. They are trained. They know the ins and outs of our border patrol and our border government and how it works better than we do. I said our highly skilled teams are working to stop individuals and networks and organizations facilitating child smuggling and the document fraud. People, they may be doing all they can do, and all they can do is all they can do. But I'm going to tell you something. Them coming across the border, there's many more of them, and like I said, you've got the Democratic Party, you've got Democratic candidates, you've got George Soros, the Rothschilds, Smithfields, Windsors, and all these other people in the deep state feeding these people money, information, and forms to fill out. It's not our fault, people. You know whose fault it is? It's the demon rats. So let's close that border. Let's build that wall. Trump, I stand with you 100%. You are granted by the Constitution to do this. I'm glad you're finally doing it. People, my name's Deplorable Bobby. This is the way I see it. Remember our children. Remember the lost and the exploited, the trafficked and the abused. People, they're everywhere on every city street. They're everywhere. Don't be a person with your head in the sand. Don't close your eyes and close your ears and not listen. Because people, this is everywhere. And it's going to take people like you and me to get this word out. We've got to make a difference. And we will make a difference in time. My name's Deplorable Bobby, and this is the way I see it. Pray for our children. Pray for each other. I'll see you later.